I am not a parent, but basically every take I've seen from somebody who is a parent is Joel objectively did the wrong thing, and I would have done the same. 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 Same.
Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Ah, yes, Tim, it's for you, but they want to say something before you talk.
Sorry, wrong number.
Better The Last of Bomb Squad! Hi, yes, welcome to the Season 1 finale of The Last of Bomb Squad, where we're going to be talking about episodes 7, 8, and 9 of The Last of Us HBO show. Pretty strong set of episodes, I'd say, so let's get right into it, Tim.
Yeah, let's do it.
Starting with episode 7, Left Behind. So, this is the one that's adapting pretty much the DLC for the first game. And a fun fact, Tim, never played that DLC.
Nani?
This is my first time experiencing this aspect of the story. Tim, did you play the DLC?
I did. It's been a while. I think I played it shortly after it came out, so my memory on it is a little fuzzy. I think I remember there being more cutting between Ellie doing the foraging for Joel and the stuff in the mall, but I think this was a pretty good way to kind of encapsulate that in an hour-long episode of television.
I'd agree. As someone who's never seen this aspect of the story before, I thought it was really well done. Belly Ramsey as Ellie continues to kill it. I loved Missing Zone Storm Reed as Riley. I loved their dynamic. I loved their back and forth. The scene where she gets bit and everything is so genuinely tragic and heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. There's the whole, we can take the easy way out. And I'm like, oh, the easy way out is letting yourself transform, I guess. And they go,
it's quick, painless.
And I'm like, that's the easy way? I am too scared to actively harm myself, so I'd be forced to be resigned to the worst fate.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And they play that whole thing out very well. They're showing you these two characters kind of going on their adventures in the mall and showing them kind of have these mutual attraction to each other, and in that moment where they finally kiss and Ellie's afraid that she's not going to reciprocate, but then she does, and you see this smile on her face that she's so happy in this moment.
Ellie gets to experience first love, first kiss, and then we snatch it away from her.
Which I think makes it extra tragic. We really get to see Bella Ramsey go off when she just starts breaking everything in that little Halloween shop. It's a good exploration of Ellie's character, because something that we see particularly in these first two episodes out of these three is she has a lot of rage in her, but she's also a scared little girl.
Like most teenagers I know, she is both incredibly angry and incredibly scared.
I also just want to talk about sort of how they play that whole thing out, all the stuff in the mall, the 4 wonders of the mall, or 5 if you count the escalator. I thought that was all very fun, watching them kind of have all of this fun with all these things that we've kind of taken for granted. They're losing their goddamn minds on the carousel. They go into the arcade and they have a blast, which, by the way, I love the sort of setup payoff with Mortal Kombat 2. How in long time at the beginning of the episode, they show her finding that machine and she starts talking about the Melina fatality. And then in this, we find out that she was so jazzed about that because she was seeing that for the first time playing it with her best friend. And I think that was just a really nice little callback to that little setup. And by the way, the bisexual lighting in that arcade is the most on the nose I've seen it in years. God bless.
It is very on the nose. I would 110% agree with that assessment. It's a good app. Gamers gonna hate because they homophobic. Solid app. Move on?
Yeah, I guess we can move on.
Episode 8, When We Are in Need. This is a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get to see David. We finally get to see James, played by Troy Baker, Joel, in The Last of Us.
My connection to this story and really this world is a little bit more unique than others.
I fucking love the actor that plays David. He is incredible.
Yeah, I think he does a great job playing the character, like the nice Christian dad type character who then turns out to be, a fucked up cannibal man.
Let's see what I go tell the others now.
Ellie,
What?
tell them that Ellie is the little girl who broke your fucking finger!
How did you put it? Tiny little pieces?
Yeah, I think that this was a really good episode, and again, kind of what I was talking about. Ellie being sort of put in these situations where she's acting both in anger and in fear. Like, in a series that's, like, really based around survival, this is, like, the most you really see somebody just, like, absolutely fighting for their fucking life, is that, like, ending bit where they're in the flaming building, and, like, she's... at the end of it, finally gets on top of him and starts hacking and hacking and hacking. And she's just screaming the whole time because she's just terrified.
Which reminds me of two things here. One, it's been a while since I played the game. I forgot about the attempted assault, so that was very intense to take in. And two, one of the bigger changes from the game so far happens here, if you ask me. If you remember, in the game, Joel gets in the building and witnesses Ellie kill David. Here, Joel only sees the aftermath.
They wanted to make Ellie feel like a little more powerless in that moment.
We see Joel coming to help her, and we are rooting for Joel to save her, but that's not going to get it done. In the end, the only person who can save Ellie is Ellie.
But then in the end, Joel does come in and gives her the emotional rescue that she needs in that moment.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal nails the I got you, baby girl line.
Okay. It's okay, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
I definitely got really emotional seeing that in the show for the first time.
Yep, there we go.
God damn it. It's a wonderful moment there they have at the end. I also love you really get to see Joel's dark side here when he tortures those people and then kills them anyway.
Yeah, he goes full Liam Neeson and Taken, just...
I believe it, but it's not gonna save you.
No! No! Why the fuck did you do that? He told you what you wanted. You motherfucker, fuck you. I ain't telling you shit.
It's okay.
No.
I believe him.
No.
Like, damn, that's fucked. I do always love how Joel just, like, suddenly gets better. In reality, it took the course of months.
Yeah.
But it's like, when he actually does get better, it's like almost instant.
Yeah, the cannibal cult has the best penicillin in the world, let me tell you.
God's gift to mankind type of penicillin.
It's made with senzu beans.
Shit.
It just instantly heals you completely.
Might as well. But I'm not really criticizing that, beyond the fact that was one of my nitpicks with the game when I first played it, so the nitpick kind of continues here.
He just has that parental energy of fight through the pain to save child, like the mothers that lift the car up.
Precisely, yeah. I love the moment where Ellie realizes they're fucking cannibals.
Yeah.
Just her seeing an ear and she's all like, because like she knows. She immediately goes,
right.
Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah. Episode 9, the finale?
Episode 9, the finale.
Look for the light.
Now, I want to start this one by apologizing for some misinformation that I
was thinking that when I saw this episode.
When I looked on IMDb when I was editing the second video, it said that Ashley Johnson was supposed to be in episode 7, but she is very prominently in episode 9.
Very prominently in episode 9 as what might be my favorite addition from the games, as Ellie's mom.
There was a special level of it for me to play the mother of this character that I care so deeply about.
First off, so fucking cool that you get the original Ellie actress to play your mom. Awesome.
Yeah,
secondly,
absolutely.
Unlike the games, we have an explanation as to why Ellie's immune. And I think this explanation works better than beyond the just whole give the nerds what they want, explain every detail bullshit. I think this works on an emotionally resonant level because of what it means. I think it enhances what Marlene does at the end and how difficult it must have been for her. But we now know that the reasons Ellie is immune is because her mother was bitten right as she was giving birth.
She got bit right before the cord got cut, so it was in there just enough that she got the immunity.
Yeah, which, as it's later explained, basically makes cordyceps think, oh, there's already cordyceps here, even though it's essentially a vaccine. It's a weaker cordyceps.
Right.
I love that. That was a great addition. I love how Ashley Johnson's first words are,
It's me!
like, as soon as the episode starts, hearing Ashley Johnson grunt while running, I'm like, Ellie?
And then, like, after she gives birth and she's holding her and she says,
Yeah, you tell her. You fucking tell Nellie.
like, that's just such a great moment to hear from Ashley Johnson.
Felt like a real passing of the torch moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beyond that, we finally get the most iconic scene from the first game, and probably going to be the most iconic scene from the show, but we'll get to that. First things first, the giraffe.
The giraffe.
Actually, I lied. First things first, give me a boost and push that ladder down.
Use the boost to get through.
It was very like, here, I'll give you a boost. And I was like, they did that in the video game. I do love that giraffe moment in the game so much as this moment of brief levity right before the chaos. In this case, literally right before the chaos, as instead of Ellie accidentally falling into a river and Joel jumping in to save her, they just go straight to the Fireflies are here. Boom! Marlene explains to Joel that Ellie's gonna die, which first off, I never fully got that. I feel like, can't you try a couple other things first? I think it's actually supposed to show that the Fireflies are maybe not the most competent organization to be handling this anyway.
Yeah.
And Marlene reveals this to Joel because Marlene assumes, oh, the smuggler I know in Boston that was a fucking murder monster is what's in front of me. Because it seems to me that the only people that would have known about Sarah would be Tommy, Joel's brother, and maybe Tess. And the only person that would have known about Joel's suicide attempt was probably only known by Tommy. I can't imagine that Joel would have ever opened up to Tess enough to reveal that.
Yeah.
So Marlene doesn't know the Joel's past and doesn't know how attached Joel's become to Marlene. The actress plays it really well, where you can see the gears turning in her head when she goes, oh, fuck. He cares about her a lot. I've made a mistake.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's something that you really see, like, right at the beginning of the episode, is he is much more in dad mode than he was before, like, just following all the stuff with the cannibals.
Yeah, because he's trying to get Ellie to open up. It's classic, my daughter just experienced something horrible, I need to try and get the life out of her thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're beating around the bush here for the big thing with this episode.
Yeah, let's just get right into it.
It generated months of discourse 10 years ago, and it's going to generate months of discourse now. Joel, while being escorted out of the Firefly base, decides, I've lost one daughter, I'm not losing a second, and massacres the Fireflies to save Ellie. Every soldier, even the doctor, one of those nurses, Laura Bailey, who plays Abby in the games. Fun fact for you. Joel massacres his way there to save Ellie, and then later lies to Ellie about it.
Yeah.
This was, I think, a big deal in the original games, and my interpretation of this has always been Joel made a horrible, selfish decision that maybe would have been correct, but we don't know how well the Fireflies could have made a vaccine and how well they could have even distributed it. I feel like that's always left out of the conversation, but it's worth mentioning that. But Joel brutally murders dozens of people to save Ellie, and then lies to Ellie about it because he knows Ellie might have actually made the decision to let herself die, but at the same time, Ellie is 14. Is she qualified to make that decision, especially after all the trauma she's gone through?
Right. And, like, I am not a parent, but basically every take I've seen from somebody who is a parent is, Joel objectively did the wrong thing, and I would have done the same.
Precisely. That is always the take with this ending, and it's always the take I've agreed with. I'm not a parent, obviously, but I have a little sister I care about. I have family I care about. And the way I feel about it is that Joel potentially doomed humanity forever, made an unbearably selfish decision out of love, and as Neil Druckmann and Craig Manson say, the ugly side of unconditional love.
What if it's between saving all of humanity or this one girl? It's the easiest choice he's ever made in his life.
And 95% of people would have done the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
which is what makes it such a good ending. Now, I've actually seen, that I never saw when the game came out, some really interesting defenses of Joel here, mainly in the sense of the Fireflies were taking away Ellie's agency here.
Right.
There's no guarantee the Fireflies could make a vaccine. Is the doctor that's doing this even a fucking neurosurgeon? Like, what does this doctor even know? Would the Fireflies even have a reasonable distribution network? Fedra would not fucking let them into any of the quarantine zones of that shit. So I've seen some interesting defenses saying that the Fireflies were being too hastily with trying to just go straight to do the thing that'll kill the girl. And how, especially from the stance of, you have a valuable resource here. A girl that's immune. Don't you want to run, I don't know, a couple more tests on it before you make a determination? But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think Joel's not thinking of those things. Joel's just thinking, I've lost one daughter, I'm not losing another. And the most painful okay in the history of media, which is when Ellie is like, swear to me you're telling the truth, and Joel says, I'm telling the truth, and Ellie says,
Okay.
in a tone of voice that's like, I don't think I believe you, but what choice do I have but to believe you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I love the ending. That ending is what made the video game special, and that's what honestly makes the show as well special. I mean, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad that they basically stayed faithful to it. I mean, they had to condense it, obviously, because, you know, in the game, it's a lot of, like, going around that compound and shooting everybody up. But, you know, for this, we just have that moment where the score is just kind of blasting, and you see him just going through all these people, murking them to get to his baby girl.
You talk about the condensing. This actually ties into my big issue with the show. Mostly the second half of the show, episodes 6 through 9. The pacing is really fast. Moments don't have a ton of time to breathe.
Yeah, and I think that that's fair. Like, maybe if they'd given this season, like, 12 episodes instead of 9, that might have been a little better.
Especially because I think the first 4 episodes are expertly paced.
Mm-hmm.
They really take their time in Boston. They mostly take their time in Kansas City. Once they get to, like, Jackson onward, it's really quick.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, you're missing some stuff. Like, sure, right after the giraffes, maybe Ellie doesn't need to fall in the river and you need a gameplay section where you go and save her. But maybe put something there to try and ease up the pacing. It's really quickly paced in the latter half. That is my one real critique of the show, and while I think I ultimately prefer the game as a means of telling the story, but this adaptation, I mean, is very faithful while adding its own spin to it in its own right. I just wish the pacing was a little better in that second half. Maybe not even 12 episodes. Maybe one extra episode. And just pace events out a little bit better.
But, I mean, ultimately, I was happy with what we got. I think this was a very good first season, and they've already confirmed that Part 2 is going to be adapted into multiple seasons.
Which I expected.
Yeah, me too, because it's a much longer game. Not sure exactly how many. I did see a theory a little while back that maybe this will be more, like, linear and, like, start with sort of the flashback stuff from the games and then go into the stuff leading into, like, the time jump, which I think that would probably be the best way to go for the show. Just because, I mean, you're working with younger actors, so you kind of have to use them while you got them. And I think it kind of, you know, makes certain moments have more impact, probably, when they land.
Yeah, the only thing I could see them, like, technically keeping in flashback form is the, in The Last of Us Part 2, there are 2 protagonists that you play as. You follow one's journey up until a certain point where it intersects with the other protagonist, and then you go back and follow that protagonist's journey in that same day time span. I feel like you have to keep it like that in order for the ending moment to still have the same emotional punch.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm excited for seasons 2 and 3, obviously, and if the rumors I'm hearing about Last of Us Part 3 being a thing, maybe they'll eventually adapt that game into a season. Since HBO seasons take like 70 fucking years to come out now. Remember when TV had 20 episodes and came out every year?
That was network, though, Tanner. That was network.
Okay, but all TV is this now.
there was big gaps between like Sopranos and shit. This
Okay.
ain't new.
Fair enough. Abbott Elementary, Fridays on ABC.
We got them.
You know what else airs on Fridays on ABC?
The Voice.
You! The person watching this season 1 finale of The Last of Bomb Squad. Thank you also very much for watching. Come on down to the comment section below and let me know. What do you think of The Last of Us Season 1? What did you think of the last 3 episodes? Do you think it's a faithful adaptation? Are you looking forward to Seasons 2 and 3? And finally, would you rip out a brain of a girl to make a vaccine? Comment below and let me know. While you're down there, hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so we know how much you love us. And hit the bell icon so we know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you also very much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for another vidcast series edited by Tim. What's the next Tim edited vidcast series?
Well, we're going to be talking about more Pedro Pascal adventures, Tanner. We're talking about Season 3 of The Mandalorian.
And you'll want to tune in for that, guys, because I have some hot fucking takes about it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. See you then. Bye.
Farewell.
Fun fact, one of the nurses, Bailey Johnson, who plays Abby in the games.
Laura Bailey, Tanner.
What did I say?
Bailey Johnson.
I don't know what happened. Can I try that again?
Yes.
Fun fact, by the way, the nurses, one of them, Bailey John...
It's fine. They got married.
WandaVision.
They got married and exchanged their names in a unique way.
Yeah.